I don't want to exaggerate, but this is probably the worst Goosebumps book I've ever read. Sure, The Barking Ghost was terrible, but at least it had an actual story. This book is a random events plot where nothing that happens will ever matter, because the book jumps to an unrelated story 10 pages later. Add generic, uninteresting characters, a lack of scary material, and a lot of filler pages, and you've got a recipe for disaster.
Argo Fump Book Review, Argo Fump Book Review.
Our narrator, Cody Brackman, wants to go swimming with his friend Sam. Dad warns them to watch the dog and not go past Deepwell Crossing. The water is extra high today. Something grabs Cody's leg and pulls him underwater. At the same time, Sam finds a water snake. The scene is so poorly written, I can't tell if we're supposed to think the snake tried to drown Cody, or if both boys were attacked at the same time. Either way, Sam throws the snake away, and nobody thinks about it again. Ollie the dog swims to Deepwell Crossing. The boys reluctantly follow him. Cody catches a fish in his hand, and the fish says, "Say my name, say my name." Part 2. 1 week ago, a ventriloquist performed for their school. No, the ventriloquist dummy is not Slappy. That would have made this a good book. The ventriloquist taught the kids how to throw their voices. Part 3. Back in the present, Cody accuses Sam of using a ventriloquist trick to make the fish talk. Sam says that's ridiculous. Maybe, but it's not more ridiculous than giving your book a big Part 2 for a brief ventriloquist flashback, which will not be important at all. You could have cut that out completely. There is a blank page before and after the Part 2 page. I think it was a cheap trick done to make the book longer. The internet says this book breaks the Goosebumps record for most blank pages. There's even 2 blank chapters. Most filler ever is not a good record to break. The kids see a bear-sized pig, which is covered with hair. It bites the dog on the ears, then it charges Cody and clamps its teeth on his leg. Well, he's dead! Oh wait, Cody screams so loudly, it startles the pig into letting him go. Our hero. Cody hits the beast with a branch twice, and it runs away. Cody and Sam swim back home. They're startled when they don't move. No matter how hard they swim, they don't get any closer to the shore. They're stuck until a canoe appears out of nowhere. They hold onto it and get to shore that way. That was random. They meet 2 girls named Melissa and Darby who are building a cabin. The dog goes into the cabin and it disappears. Oh no! Cody checks his phone, which says, "Say my name, say my name." This is supposed to be scary, but I still have no idea what it's supposed to mean. Is this a weird Destiny's Child reference? Google Maps says Cody's house doesn't exist anymore. He goes home, only his family members aren't there. The house looks completely different. An old woman is inside. She says she's lived here for decades. Her son Carl is a champion cage fighter. He chases the boys away and says, "Say my name, say my name." Part 4. Darby is the narrator now. Weird. She and Melissa get trapped by 5 pig monsters. Luckily for them, a piglet arrives. It scares the big pigs away. The girls are relieved at first. Then they're shocked to discover their hands have been replaced by pig hooves. Thank you, pointless interlude. Back to the main story. Part 5. The boys go to Sam's house, where Sam reveals he made a video game with the help of AI. Everything that happens in the game is now happening in real life. That's why things are so weird. The game is called Say My Name, Say My Name. Oh, now it makes sense that animals keep saying those words. Oh wait, it doesn't make sense at all. What game has random characters repeat the title over and over? You know how many times someone says Goosebumps in the game Goosebumps Attack of the Mutant? 0. 0 times. If you don't believe me, check out my video walkthrough for the game. It's a lot more fun than reading this book. Sam plays the game so he can see what will happen next. This plan fails when his cat jumps on the computer keyboard. The cat somehow deletes the game. Because, hitting random buttons on a keyboard will totally uninstall a program for good. Sam's older brother Dougie arrives. Nice to meet you, major character who was not mentioned earlier. Dougie confesses he reprogrammed the game to make it weird. He tries reprogramming the reprogram using a backup copy of the game. It doesn't work. Sam's parents turn into monsters and kill Cody. Part 6. Cody wakes up and thinks the whole thing was a bad dream. No, actually, reading this book was the bad dream. I mean, he's on level 2 of the game. Nobody else remembers level 1. It's a complete continuity reset. Why, though? It's not like the book has been so complicated people would be confused if characters remembered what happened 10 pages ago. Cody uses a hammer to destroy the backup copy of the game. He figures that will fix everything, but it doesn't. We're almost at the end of the book, so things speed up. They go to a horse-riding birthday party. The horses say my name, say my name," and run backwards. The boys fall off their horses and they're attacked by flesh-eating flies. How terrifying. The only way to get rid of the flies is to eat one of them. Random. They take refuge in a cabin. The door disappears, so they go into the basement where they meet a giant floating hand. The game then runs an error 404. Sam reveals the big end-of-book plot twist. None of the book has been real. They're just characters in a video game. They can escape the game by saying their names. Only they forgot their names in this chapter. Dumb. Sam yells reboot, and the book restarts itself at chapter 1. Not really, though. The final chapter covers the events of chapters 2 and 4 with different dialogue. And it ends with the chapter 5 scene, where Cody finds a fish that says, "Say my name, say my name." The end. Post-book follow-up. This book was awful. So awful, I wonder if that was the point. Sam says he used AI to write the game. Maybe it's a parody of AI-generated writing? It's certainly weird and random enough. The blank pages section is clearly a joke. If the rest of the book was treated as a joke the whole time, maybe the book would have been okay. Honestly, our hero is trapped in an AI story could be a good Goosebumps book. This is not good, though. It's just bad. I'm surprised the publishers didn't reject this. It's a bunch of random garbage with hardly any attempt to connect anything. The characters are also bad. They're bland, with no good dialogue or personality. Cody has a generic wisecracking Goosebumps narrator personality at the start, but that quickly disappears once you get past the section which is used for book previews. The rest of the book, he's just generic and boring. Maybe I would like the book if I cared about anyone in the story, but I don't. The cover is a total lie. There is no monster fish in the book, just a normal-sized fish. The book reminds me a lot of It's the First Day of School Forever, which had a similar random events plot leading to the ending twist, where it was all a video game. That book was better, though. It was a lot funnier, and at least the random events felt like they were leading to something. And hey, there was a time loop storyline that kept things interesting. This one is more like random stuff every 10 pages with no care put into it. You can have a book be very interesting and random at the same time, but this one leaned so heavily on the randomness that it was pointless. I give Goosebumps House of Shivers number 4, say my name, a 0 out of 10. As always, I will finish with an AI-generated review of the book. The AI reviewer likes the book way more than I did. Arglefump book review, Arglefump book review. Cody Brackman wants to go swimming with his best friend Sam, but Dad warns them not to go past Deepwell Crossing. He also tells them to watch the dog Ollie, which is dad code for, "You're the responsible ones if something goes wrong." Naturally, something goes wrong. The river is weirdly high today, and something grabs Cody's leg, yanking him underwater. Meanwhile, Sam finds a water snake, which may or may not be responsible for the attack. Either there's one underwater monster, or these boys just have the worst luck. Sam tosses the snake away, and they move on, because why let a possible near-death experience ruin a good swim? Ollie the dog, ignoring all warnings, paddles his way to Deepwell Crossing, forcing the boys to follow. Cody catches a fish in his hands, and the fish, being a totally normal fish, says, "Say my name! Say my name!" What? 1 week earlier, a ventriloquist visited the school and taught the kids how to throw their voices. This has nothing to do with the plot right now, but don't worry, it'll be relevant later. No, it won't. Sorry, AI-generated reviewer. It's totally irrelevant. Back to the fish situation. Cody, being a rational human being, accuses Sam of making the fish talk with a ventriloquist trick. Sam dismisses the idea because talking fish are the least of their problems. The boys then encounter a horrifying, hairy, pig-like creature. It bites the dog's ears and latches onto Cody's leg. Cody screams and fights it off with a branch, proving once again that scream and flail is the best strategy in horror stories. Cody and Sam decide enough is enough and swim home, but, plot twist, they can't. No matter how hard they paddle, they don't move. Just as they start considering their life choices, a canoe magically appears and lets them reach shore. On land, they meet 2 girls, Melissa and Darby, who are building a cabin. The dog runs inside and vanishes. Because of course he does. Then things get weirder. Cody's phone displays a message, "Say my name, say my name." Google Maps suddenly refuses to acknowledge his house. When he gets home, his family is missing, and the house looks completely different. An old woman says she's lived there for decades, and her son, Carl the cage fighter, yes, really, chases the boys away, also chanting, "Say my name, say my name." At this point, I'd be screaming literally anything just to see if it makes this stop. I'm actually going to cut out the next 3 minutes of the AI-generated review because it's boring. The AI generator forgot to include any jokes. Boo! So I'll skip directly to "Say my name, say my name." The end. Post-book follow-up. This book is insane in the best way possible. It throws everything at the reader. Creepy water creatures, vanishing dogs, talking fish, a pig monster infestation, a rogue AI video game, and a floating hand. It somehow manages to be both a psychological thriller and a chaotic fever dream. The biggest strength of the book is its sheer unpredictability. Every time you think you know what's going on, the story flips itself on its head. The only constant is "Say my name, say my name," which somehow gets creepier every time it's repeated. That said, the video game twist is both a great reveal and a potential letdown. It explains why everything is happening, but it also makes you wonder, if none of this is real, do the stakes even matter? Then again, given the Error 404 ending, maybe reality is just as broken as the game. Overall, this is a wild, surreal ride that perfectly captures the Goosebumps brand of horror. Fast-paced, bizarre, and just unsettling enough to stick with you. The AI review gave it a perfect score. I do not! I give Goosebumps, say my name, 0 mysterious fish out of 10.